Hi everyone, it's Sam from PsyCat Games. So for this video, we'll be looking into a variant of one of the most famous card games to be released, and that's Uno Flip. So in the classic game of Uno, you have to match either the color or the number of the top card in the discard pile. The same goes for Uno Flip, except that now you have the dark side to flip to, but you can play this game with 2 to 10 players of ages 7 years old and above. The wild card can be played with any card, and you can also play this even if you have other playable cards. With the wild card, the player that plays this card gets to choose a color that they wish to continue on. The next player must then put a card that follows that color. Similar to the wild card, whichever player plays this card gets to choose what color the group will continue on next. The difference is that the next player is now forced to draw 2 cards and skip their turn. You also can't play this card if you have other playable cards in your hand. Be careful though, because another player can challenge you to reveal the cards in your hands. If you really had no choice but to play that wild draw 2 card, your challenger will be drawing 4 cards. Otherwise, if proven guilty, you'll be drawing 2 cards. If the draw 1 card is played, the next player is now forced to draw 1 card from the draw pile. The draw 1 card can be played if it matches the same color or if it's another draw 1 card on top of the discard pile. When this is played, the next player must now skip their turn. This card can only be played on top of a skip card of the same color or any other card of the same color. This card turns the direction of play to the opposite direction. So for example, if the current play is in a clockwise motion, once player 1 puts down a reverse card, the play is now in counterclockwise and the previous player goes again. The play always starts off in a clockwise motion. So if this is the first card that comes up when the game begins, the play is now in a counterclockwise and the dealer goes first instead. When you play the flip card while the game is on the light side, all cards, including the deck, should now be flipped over to the dark side. This card can be played on top of any matching color card or another flip card. When you play the flip card while the game is in the light side, all cards, including the deck, will now be flipped over to the dark side. The wild card on the dark side entails the exact same rules as the wild card on the light side. When the draw 5 card is played, the next player must draw 5 cards from the draw pile and then skip their turn. The draw 5 card can only be played on a similarly colored card or on another draw 5 card that's already lying in the discard pile. Just slightly different than the skip card on the light side, when the skip everyone card is played, all players are skipped and the player that put this card down gets another turn. This card can only be played on top of a card of the same color or on another skip everyone card that's already in the discard pile. This card can be played on a card of the same color or on another reverse card that's already in the discard pile. The wild draw color card is, in my opinion, one of the worst cards in the whole deck. When this is played, a player gets to choose a color. The next player now has to continue drawing from the draw pile until they get the color that was chosen. Just like the Wild Draw 2 card on the light side, you can only play this card if you don't have any other card that matches the color of the top card in the discard pile. If another player decides to challenge you and finds you guilty, you have to keep drawing from the draw pile until you get the chosen color. However, if you're innocent, your challenger will have to continue drawing from the draw pile plus additional 2 cards. The dark side flip card works the same as the one on the light side. When this is played, all cards, including the ones in the draw and discard pile, now have to be flipped over to the light side and the plays continued. When setting up Uno Flip for a game, make sure that all cards are of the same side. So the game always starts on the light side first. When you're dealing, make sure that the dark side is facing up. Choose the dealer by having everyone draw a card from the deck. Looking at the light side, the player with the highest number becomes the dealer. If an action card was picked, this counts as 0. But now if the dealer has been decided, the dealer will now shuffle all of the cards and deal 7 cards each to all players one by one. Place the remaining cards in the center of the table. This is now your draw pile. Now take the top card of the draw pile and flip it and place it next to that pile. This is now your discard pile. The player to the left of the dealer usually goes first, and the play is automatically in a clockwise direction until a reverse card is played. Play the necessary cards color to color or number to number, and if there are no cards that can be played, you can draw 1 card from the draw pile. If the card that you drew can be played, you can choose whether or not to play it. However, if it can't, then your turn is over. So just to emphasize that you don't have to keep drawing cards from the draw pile if the cards can't be played. You only draw once. As always, to win Uno, you have to yell Uno if you're playing your second to the last card. If another player calls you out for not yelling Uno, you have to draw 2 cards from the draw pile. The winner of the round is the first person to get rid of all of their cards. If your last card is a card that requires the next player to draw, they will still need to draw that card as they will count for the points of the winner. The cards that you'll be counting for points are the cards left in all of your opponent's hands. The overall winner is the first player to reach 500 points. You can set a higher or lower point threshold depending on how many rounds you'd like to play. Here are the points that you can gain with specific cards. Note that the points should only follow the side that the game ended on. For example, if the game ended on the dark side, you can't count draw 1 cards as they're exclusive to the light side. Tip number 1. Pay attention to your opponents. One of the great things about Uno Flip is that once a flip card is played, you'll be able to see the cards in your opponent's hands. The only downside of it is that your cards will be revealed too, so try to think of a cunning way to deceive your opponents. Tip number 2. Keep your draw cards and use them for emergencies. When the time comes and you feel like the player after you is so close to winning, pull out all those draw cards and put more cards in their hands. Tip number 3. Always play your high-numbered cards. Keep your points low just in case you don't win and your cards will be used for someone else's win, because the fewer points you have, the fewer points they can score. Tip number 4. Change color often. Most players try to maintain the color for as long as they can, but we recommend changing your color often, because this will mean that you'll have a multicolored hand. It probably means that you'll always have a playable card, and also it minimizes the amount of draws that you have to make. Tip number 5. Use your action cards wisely. Try not to stock up on certain action cards and just play them wisely, because don't forget that if you lose, the winner would get a chunk load of points just because you kept a lot of action cards in your hand. Just try to find a way and play them strategically. Overall, we'd be giving Uno Flip a 4 out of 5 PsyCat star rating. It's really compact and easy to carry around, but it can be confusing for people, especially with all the flipping that's gonna happen. Thank you guys for staying to the very end of the video. We hope you liked it and we clarified how Uno Flip is played. If you don't have your own Uno Flip pack yet, well, we hope our video encouraged you to go out and get one of your own. But before you head out, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comments below what you think about this game, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be updated when our next video is out.